Hey guys, so I'm about to go and shoot a bit of a test video and some footage and photos for my reviews of some Sony equipment, Sony A7S, and a couple of lenses from Sony, the 28-70 and the 55FE. And I wanted to show you guys this setup that I'm using, which is sort of what I would call the ultimate compact setup for both photos and videos. And this is something that I wouldn't take to professional shoots, but it's something that's extremely compact and very enjoyable to use, and what I would use when I want to just shoot some photos, enjoy myself, not carry too much, but still have the option for both photos and videos. So a custom strap, the reason I made my own strap was just I wanted something that was really exactly what I wanted. So it's a combination of some elastic material and this webbing strap and stuff. Actually pretty simple to make and fairly cheap. The only expensive part I've used here is the custom SLR C-loop under the camera, which has also been changed a little bit from the way they intended it to be used. That'll be a separate video. And then the crumpler belt pack, which I've discussed in previous videos, a belt pack that I really like using, and Gorillapod SLR-Zoom, very lightweight, but great for a bit of video stabilization, either on my shoulder or just on the ground or whatever. Then there's a spare lens, a spare battery, and that's pretty much it, and a card in the camera. Have a look at the results so you can get an idea of what this is like in actual use, what kind of footage and photos you can get with a kit like this. This footage was all shot on the Sony A7S with the S-Log2 color profile, then graded in Final Cut Pro using the Hawaiki color plugin. No sharpening was added. It was really fun to shoot so compact and was great to be able to move from shot to shot so quickly, since my cat mostly just did whatever she wanted, so I had to move really fast. There was no additional stabilization added to this video, but a few of the shots here were from the Sony 28-70 with the lens stabilization turned on. Most of the shots here were from the 55mm f1.8 FE lens from Sony, which is an absolutely gorgeous lens, but which doesn't have image stabilization. Image quality wise, it's one of the best performing lenses in the world, and I love the video autofocus on it. Most of the time, it's just so much faster and easier when filming things like this, which are not super important. I also shot a few photos here, but I really don't love autofocus for photography because it doesn't know exactly what I want it to focus on, especially in a scene like this, which has so much detail. I can focus manually much faster if I have a very sharp screen to look at or very good focus peaking, both of which are not ideal on the Sony. For professional photography like weddings, I shoot with my Canon 5D Mark III as the main camera using manual focus Samyang and Nikon lenses and a super precision matte focusing screen inside the camera. If you think that's stupid, then go and look at my wedding photography and then make up your mind. If you have a DSLR but don't know what a super precision matte focusing screen is, then have a look at the link below, then thank me later. Manually focusing for photos with the Sony lenses can be done, but it is somewhat slow and annoying. For shooting video, the manual focus ring on Sony lenses is absolute garbage. They are completely electronic and focus more or less depending on how fast you move the ring, not by the amount that you turn it. And even after 10 minutes, if you think you've got your focus pull correct, there's a good chance that the motors didn't move smoothly enough. Now I've been going back and forth, not sure which lens I should be keeping. I might keep the 28-70 as my only video autofocus lens, but I'm very tempted to keep the Sony 55mm as well, and maybe even get the new Sony 28mm f2, because the combination of lots of bokeh and fast video autofocus is really fantastic in some situations where I can't manually focus very easily. For example, in situations where I can't see the screen properly, filming myself for reviews, shooting on a glide cam or slider, etc. And please don't comment and tell me that video autofocus isn't professional. That's bullshit. I find it useful for some of my work, and obviously I do use manual focus a lot of the time too. And let me make myself clear, autofocus is very useful sometimes. I'm not saying that it is the thing that you should use, and I'm not saying that it is better than manual focus. It's just a very useful thing sometimes. Keep in mind that in some shots the autofocus can have a strange flickering in the corners of the image, especially when focused up close. Here's something interesting. Even though I do bring ND filters to shoots, I wanted to see if I could shoot without an ND filter. So I shot this entire video without an ND filter at 1/8000th of a second, the fastest shutter speed that most cameras will do. Surprisingly, I didn't hate the footage, especially when slowed down. Although, of course, this is not the ideal setting to be filming with if you want smooth looking motion, and of course any fast motion of the camera would look choppy and horrible, so this certainly isn't the correct way to film. I wanted to add a little bit to the end of this video, which I actually shot here a few days ago, and so I've come back here with a larger setup while this is fantastic for professional shoots, that's when a big system like this is fantastic. If I want to be shooting for fun, this thing is, there's a lot to carry around. Being able to shoot with the Gorillapod so damn quickly, especially with the autofocus lenses, was absolutely fantastic compared to a really big setup, which I would have to use if I was shooting on a big professional shoot. I want to get perfect slides and stuff like that. For something where I want to enjoy myself, want to run around, just have some fun shooting, this isn't as good. I'll have links below to all the stuff I've talked about, and I'll have links below to my review of this thing with the Canova flywheel. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Visit my channel for lots more awesome filmmaking and photography videos like lighting techniques, DIY projects, behind the scenes tutorials, cameras, lenses, adapters, shoulder rigs, stabilizers, flashes, LEDs, microphones, bags, straps, studio backgrounds, tripods, float heads, sliders, multi-tools, and lots more cool stuff!